Action.
Behind the scenes with Team SMC.
Growing up on the water with fishing in their blood, Matt Arey and Bryan Thrift have spent the last 10 years competing against the biggest names in professional bass fishing. Their success has landed them ranked among the top anglers in the world. If you're looking to become a better angler, then this show has all the answers. Join us and follow along to get actionable tips, tactics, and tried and true techniques directly from the pros. Welcome to Let's Talk Fish.
Sound great.
Check, check, 1, 2. We should be good now. I don't know. Says it's got sound.
Okay. Okay. Let us know if we have sound now. Please. Let us know. Because there's a delay, it'll take them a second to respond if we have sound or not. Did you unplug a cable or something? Did you trip over something?
No.
Okay, Todd Go just texted me also, said no sound.
Can't hear anything. Yeah.
We're good.
How you know?
Because everybody says we're good.
Nobody said that yet.
I'm seeing it.
Okay, we're back. All right.
There
Alan
we go.
Coe said we're back. Spencer Borders said, yep, we're back. All right. So I don't know what y'all missed, but I'm going to back up a little bit.
It really wasn't anything.
Jeff didn't hit the button or whatever.
I don't know what happened.
like, honestly, we have our guest tonight could probably switch seats with you and run this deal just as good, if not better, than you.
Good, because I'm hungry.
I'm just throwing that out there. But, no, back to Andy Baker's comment. Talking about the episodes, he said he's missed the last 6 or 7. I know I say this, but I don't say it often enough. We upload all these episodes to our YouTube channel if you want to visually watch them, and to all the podcast platforms. And Jeff told me a few minutes ago, y'all probably didn't hear that.
That's
obviously.
what we were talking about when you couldn't hear us. I muted it.
Yeah,
just in case I was wrong.
So Jeff said we are up to date on all our podcast downloads and our YouTube uploads. Is it podcast downloads and YouTube uploads?
I don't really know anything about podcasts.
I'm talking about, but would you say podcast download
No,
and YouTube
we upload, they download.
Okay, so all our uploads are up
Makes
to
sense.
date, right? Correct? All right. Good enough.
Yes.
All right. Appreciate everybody joining in tonight. We do have a very special guest. Again, Let's Talk Fish, brought to y'all by Angler's Choice Marine. 3 locations: Martinsville, Virginia; Lexington, North Carolina; Spindale, North Carolina. If you're in the market for a new boat, and we have a lot of viewers that have purchased boats from them, we thank you. They thank you, and all of them know what kind of guys and gals work at these locations. They're not just with you before the sale, but they're with you after the sale. So be sure to check those guys out. They've got they're obviously a big Ranger dealer. They carry your Nitro, Triton, all your Sun Tracker brands. They've got you covered all the way across the board. And tonight's giveaway is from another sponsor of Let's Talk Fish called Pulse Fish Lures, which we actually have. The reason this fella right here is in studio with us tonight is because we're going down. We're going to leave. What time are we leaving in the morning, McCoy?
I think you said like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
No, wait.
I'm hoping 4.
You gonna set your alarm, or I'll have to wake you
I'll
up?
set my alarm.
Okay, you can set your alarm. I know how it is on the road with y'all. I mean, Scott has to pretty much wake y'all up everywhere we go. Well, maybe not you as much as Jake and Dylan.
Yeah. I usually wake up pretty well.
Yeah, you're actually pretty
I'm a morning
good.
bird.
You're usually on it. But we're going to leave about 3 o'clock in the morning. We're going to go down to Lake Lanier, meet up with Mr. Todd Goad, and we're going to go out on Lanier and get a bunch of really cool footage with the Pulse Jig crew. And we're going to go out there and catch some big old giant spotted bass on Pulse jigs, swim bait heads that Pulse has, and also a new little product that we'll be launching here pretty soon. It's a new underspin that I designed along with Todd Goad. And we're going to hopefully get some really cool footage to show y'all. and just have a good time. And McCoy, Mr. McCoy Fisher, is in studio tonight. Yay, McCoy. I'll just clap by myself, Jeff. No problem.
I'm trying to listen to the sound.
No, you're eating Zots. So he's like, throw me a handful of Zots. And so I just threw a handful of Zots.
Why
over
were
there.
you clapping? Because I didn't hear.
Because McCoy Fisher's in studio tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Right, that's better. That's better. Everybody out there is clapping. I mean, I feel like they are anyway. So the reason I wanted to have McCoy in studio tonight. Oh, back to the giveaway. Sorry, I didn't finish that. So Pulse Jig prize pack tonight. Some Pulse Jigs. Possibly some soft plastic trailers for the Pulse Jigs, possibly some swim bait heads. Going to put together a nice little prize pack for our trivia giveaway. We will have a trivia question at the end of the show. And I'm not going to give it away, so McCoy doesn't know. I'm bad about, like, accidentally giving the answer out before the show ends, just because I start talking about stuff and then I just throw it out there.
He's only done it about 7 times.
But I'm going to give it roughly,
Really?
give or take
You're
12.
notorious.
Yeah. I'll give y'all a hint. Tonight's question. Jeff's scared to death right
Why
now.
do you even give a hint?
Tonight's question. Okay, I won't give a hint. I won't give a hint. Scratch
What
that.
hint could you possibly give?
That it relates to Team SMC.
Oh, okay.
The trivia question tonight relates to Team
that's
SMC.
pretty vague.
It's about
Yeah.
as far as you can go. 'cause people-
I mean, it wasn't that much of a hint, but, you know, kind of self-explanatory. But the reason I wanted to get McCoy in the studio tonight, and McCoy, thanks for... So, McCoy, what time did you get up this morning?
About 2 o'clock.
About
Got on
2
the road
o'clock
by
this
3.
morning. Left
That's
Clewiston.
not this morning. That's last night.
Yeah, basically.
He left Clewiston this morning at 2 a.m.-ish, drove all the way to my house.
No, he didn't drive all the way to your house. Take us through the trip, because you were updating Instagram all day, and
Oh, yeah.
did not just go from Clewiston to
First
Matt's.
of all, if y'all don't follow McCoy on Instagram, be sure to follow McCoy on Instagram at The Real McCoy.
Yeah. REEL.
R-E-E-L,
Like a fishing reel.
like a fishing reel.
And then MACOY, not
Yeah.
MCCOY.
Right,
Yeah.
M-A-C-O-Y. Yeah, I spelled your name wrong for like the first 6
Everybody
months
does,
when I
it's
met
fine.
you.
People still do in the
Yeah,
comments.
take them through your road trip from Clewiston to Shelby, North Carolina today.
So it was pretty boring for the first, I'd say, 4 hours. And then I set my destination about 4 hours away. And if nobody knows, my favorite gas station is Buc-ee's. And there's 2 in Florida now. And they're about an hour apart.
Oh,
So
there's
I
2 in Florida now?
Yeah, there's one in Daytona. And then there's one in, I think, Jacksonville area. So I stopped at both of those.
How far are they apart? You said 2 hours?
About an hour.
They're only an hour apart?
Maybe
You
not
stopped
even
at
that.
both of them?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
it's like-
y'all don't understand McCoy's addiction to Buc-ee's. Well, if you follow the SMC channel on YouTube,
Buc-ee's isn't a gas station. Buc-ee's is like a shopping mall that sells gas.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
They have everything.
yeah. So explain to our viewers that aren't familiar, because a lot of people in the north, Buc-ee's is expanding and they're growing, but they're not in the northern states. They're not really in the western U.S. yet. They're primarily in the southeast, right?
primarily
You
in
probably know
Texas.
where every single one of them is.
I don't know where everyone is in Texas, but other than Texas, I know where everyone is.
So tell everybody what Buc-ee's is, because obviously it's the greatest place on earth to you. But tell our viewers what Buc-ee's is.
I think it's considered like a convenience store, more or less, because it's bigger. But they have what, 100, 200 gas pumps at each one of them.
At least 150 gas pumps, I
Yeah,
would say.
the
roughly.
branding is really what I think draws a lot of people in. It's I don't know if they can see it. It's literally a little Bucky beaver. I have a pop socket. I've got it on my wallet.
He always
It's on my
has,
computer.
always has a Buc-ee's logo.
So
somewhere
Bucky's,
with
if you're
him.
watching, sponsor me, please.
Yeah, Buc-ee's is so it's like a gas station / Walmart / Tractor Supply / Rural King / I wouldn't really say like a Bass Pro Shop because they don't have that much outdoor stuff. But it's like all those combined in one, but cleaner, nicer, better presentation, cool logo, cool branding. I mean, but this guy over here's got Buc-ee's pajamas. He's got Buc-ee's boxers. He's got Buc-ee's onesies. He's got what all do you have Buc-ee's like?
You kind of named a lot of things. I mean, I've got a ton of stickers. It's
Bunch of Buc-ee's stickers.
It's kind of like, yeah.
So it's funny because earlier this year, and I know McCoy's addiction to Buc-ee's. Earlier this year, I left my boat at Canterbury's for a couple tournaments. I mean, not a couple tournaments. A couple weeks after the Neely Henry tournament, had to go back down there, and I don't even remember where we went after that. Where did we go after that?
After Neely Henry?
Oh, we went to Texas, right?
Gunnersville after Neely Henry.
Okay, Gunnersville.
Yep.
Went back down to get my boat at Canterbury's, and when I got there, Yeah, sound's working, Jeff.
Took my AirPods out.
I went back to Canterbury to get my boat, and I lift up my battery compartment lid, and the first thing I see is a Buc-ee's sticker, and it's Buc-ee's face right there on my compartment lid. So what these boys have started to do is, I don't know, what do you call that when you try to paint people's stuff with stickers or your own branding or whatever?
You tag it.
Tag it. They've been tagging. Let's see. They've tagged my boat. They've tagged Hollywood's truck. Scott Martin is Hollywood. That's what we call it. I call him Hollywood. They've tagged Scott Martin's truck. Did you tag Canterbury yet?
He doesn't know it yet, but I have.
Oh, even better. So we're not going to say it on the show, but you can tell me after the show where you tagged, because he hadn't found it yet.
No, he hasn't found it yet.
So Canterbury gets on quite often, so Canterbury might be watching. Yes, so James Bryant said it. A lot of our viewers know what a Buc-ee's is. It's like a tourist attraction gas station. Okay, so they have one near Warner Robins, Georgia. Said it has 250 plus pumps, and most of them may have 200 plus. It's so spread out, you know, you don't really fathom how many pumps they really have or how big it really is. Smoke needs to be tagged. Yes, yeah, Thrift needs to be tagged. Problem is he's out of town, but you know what? And we all know how kind of anal Smoke is about how neat and precise everything is, like in his shop. If we could just get over it, because he doesn't watch the show. I'm not worried about him seeing this.
Yeah.
He doesn't watch.
He's
He's co-host of the show, but he doesn't actually watch the show. If we could slip over there to his house while he's gone and put like 7 or 8 Buc-ee's tags in his shop, that would be pretty.
That'd be funny.
That'd be pretty epic. Allison might be watching. She might let us in if we holler at her. But no, I wanted to have McCoy on the show tonight, y'all, because what we don't do often enough is give credit to the guys behind the cameras. McCoy is arguably, one of the most talented individuals in our industry. He helps produce one of the most successful YouTube channels in the entire fishing industry, which is the SMC, Scott Martin's YouTube channel. McCoy handles a lot of the editing, a lot of the filming, a lot of the brainstorming and stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you don't see. And I wanted to have McCoy on the show to kind of lay that out for everybody. And I know there's a lot of guys out there looking to start their own YouTube channel. There's a lot of guys out there always we've had some videography and photography questions shot at Thrift and we look like a deer in headlights when they ask us. So McCoy's here tonight, so now's your chance. If you have technical questions or equipment questions or how to get started, McCoy's a good one to ask those questions to, and I'll direct those questions over to McCoy as they come in. Yeah. I know, Scott and McCoy work a lot together on the production side of the YouTube channel. McCoy will put some stuff together, and because Scott, he's always there to double check everything and kind of look it over and make suggestions. And Scott's very creative, as everybody knows. He's had a very successful television career, and obviously the YouTube channel is no different. Actually, the YouTube channel is probably y'all just surpassed 600,000 subscribers, which is pretty awesome. The videos they put out are high quality. They're very entertaining. They're very engaging. And I think talk about, while we get some questions coming in, talk about the kind of the sweet spot of YouTube, because me, from a tournament fisherman aspect, which I'm not a good judge, if I go on YouTube, I just want to see guys in tournament situations making decisions, catching bass. But that's not the majority of, that's not the way you connect to the viewers and you build a fan base, because you have to kind of put something together that appeals to everybody, right? And talk about a couple of the, a couple of the keys to being able to put together such a diversity of content to where it does appeal to everybody, and what it, kind of what it takes to do what y'all do.
Yeah, so I think, Scott really handles a lot of that. Sometimes I just hold the camera. He's
the production side of it, kind of creative mind.
Yeah, he likes to add in the, I guess, the behind the scenes, like what you don't get to see. Just like, you can have all the fishing, but people want to see what you don't see. So that's kind of where we're, I think, excelling this year, is we're really showing a lot in the house and just behind the scenes and what goes through Scott's head. I think people appreciate that, and they can learn a lot from what goes through his head tournament morning, during practice especially. Practice videos I see a lot of comments that people learn a lot of things from those.
They really like watching the practice videos
Yeah.
because they do feel like they're inside his head and
Right.
and understanding more about the decisions he makes and why he makes them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's cool. But y'all do a lot of other stuff. Obviously, the tournament videos kind of seem to be the wheelhouse. You and I talked about that coming over here. They seem to get the most engagement and the most views.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
correct me if I'm wrong, because this is my observation. But y'all do a lot of other stuff, and that diversity. So, like, you know, y'all go out on Scott's charter boat, the vice versa, and do some saltwater episodes. Y'all go out and do all kinds of little different things.
Yeah.
But you know, talk about the other side of it too, not just the tournament side, but and how does that seem to compare? So y'all built such a strong subscriber list. How do those kind of feed the tournament? Because we only have so many tournaments, right? So how do you decide what activities to do? And I know Scott has a lot to do with that too. But why this activity and why that activity? You know, kind of explain why those y'all pick certain activities to kind of supplement all the tournament videos.
Usually it's just kind of what's going on down in Florida, where we are really in general.
Well, that's true. Y'all do shows all over the U.S.
Right.
too, so.
If there's something going on, like a bite down in the Keys, we'll run down there and shoot a show. Or just to give a little diversity, it's good to get on the boat and just give the viewers a little something different. They seem to like it, but we don't have a huge fan base for the saltwater content yet. We're still trying to build it because bass fishing and saltwater fishing, I feel like, doesn't really mix that well.
Well, I think a lot of the saltwater viewers that are on YouTube, they're not aware of what y'all are doing yet.
Right.
That probably has a lot to do with it.
Right. And we don't do enough of it to really show up, I think.
Right.
But we will be after the season. We'll be down there quite a bit.
I was going to say, y'all will be
filming a
spending
lot.
some more time on the vice versa.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited.
So here's a great question from Ronnie Thompson. He said, give him some advice on the best editing software for, you know, a non-professional. Something affordable and something that can still get the job done.
Yeah. The answer I always give is if you have an iPhone or even like a MacBook, I think it comes free. I think iMovie comes free with the MacBooks. iMovie. It's an Apple application, I guess. So that's what I started on. I know a lot of other guys, still professional YouTubers, that still use it. So it's a very high quality and it's free.
Oh, so. Well, that won't break the bank.
No.
I didn't know that.
Definitely
I've
not.
never heard of that, but
Yeah.
free kind of, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good free stuff out there.
Your boy Arey might even have iMovie at the next tournament. You gonna show me how to use it if I download it?
I'll show you how to use it.
Okay.
Do you have a Mac?
No, I have an iPhone. He said if you have an iPhone, you can get it.
I think it comes on the iPhone app, actually. The new ones, at least.
Well, I've got a 12. Would it be on this
Yeah,
one?
it should be.
Huh, never seen it. Can you show me where it is?
You gonna start your own YouTube channel?
No. No. Drew Goolsby said, can McCoy edit out Hollywood saying biggin every time he gets a bite?
It's not every time. It's like 92% of the time.
92%?
It's a lot.
It's
a lot.
But no, that's like a niche, though. Everybody has fun with that, and Scott's a
Yeah.
good sport about it. And I think the fact that it's in there is the reason
The best is.
Drew's making that comment. You know?
Oh, I felt bigger than that. I thought it was gonna be bigger.
I thought it was going to be bigger. Well, you got to follow up with when
Every
you say
time?
when you say biggin, and it's a pound and a halfer. But now, wait a minute, that's relative to where you are.
Yeah,
Back up to the
and
Sabine
Sabine
River.
River.
Back up,
Sabine, a pound
back up to
and
the
a half
Sabine
is
River.
giant.
And a 1.8 was a kicker. A 1.15, two even was like a biggin. That was a biggin.
Valid.
Whew, that was a rough tournament.
Yeah, that was interesting. The Tyler Ward, a buddy of mine, Tyler, who's local here over in Kings Mountain, he said, great job with the content, McCoy. It was nice talking to you at the Classic in the AFCO booth. So Tyler was down there.
Nice.
Tyler, I didn't even realize you was at the Classic, man. You should have come and said, hey. I did know you were down there because you told me that, but I didn't get a chance to see. I had a lot of people there that I didn't know were there, and unfortunately it was a busy Classic, obviously. And I was fishing until the very end. Otherwise, I would have loved to have been able to catch up with some buddies that were down there. All right, let's get out. Let's jump on down. It's a great question from Drew. So the footage that we give y'all, and I say we because I'm just talking about a tournament video, and I feel bad for y'all because now McCoy does have some help. We got to give credit where credit's due.
Absolutely.
Dylan, who's new to the team, a couple tournaments ago.
He started at Sabine, yeah.
Started at Sabine,
Sabine,
so he's been with us
especially.
for what, 3 events?
4 events.
He actually is the one that did my final day at Neely Henry.
Mm-hmm. He
Did that
produced the
solo.
whole video, yep.
And got a lot of
Did a
good
good job.
feedback on that. Dylan did a phenomenal job there. You've got Jake, Scott's son Jake, who's
Jake's
with it.
helping
Why are you
out a lot.
smiling? What's Jake
He
do?
helps a lot.
What does Jake do for us, McCoy? Tell everybody what Jake does for us.
Jake, during the day, on tournament days, he's on the boat all day from launch until the very last second. He's filming Scott on the water. So it gives us time, Dylan and I, to edit it and get the content out quicker.
So the question was, so what's Jake do the rest of the week?
Jake likes to sleep.
Jake's a professional sleeper. Yeah. But no, Jake actually has been on the water working his tail off, running the camera on a chase boat in several events and getting a lot of really good B-roll stuff.
Yeah, he gets some really good stuff.
And what y'all see, so what y'all see on that, excuse me, on a lot of those tournament videos is, and what's so cool, and I'm like probably the hardest one on the team to work with because McCoy probably laughs because they're like, well, can we put a camera so-and-so? Can we put a camera on your chest? Can we put a camera? And I'm like, no, leave me alone. I'm just trying to go fishing. So I run one camera because bass requires it, not McCoy. No, I really run one camera for the whole deal. But when you see Scott's catches, Martin's catches, Scott's running a chesty. You're running 2 cameras on the boat, right? 2 GoPros on the boat.
Yeah, 2 cameras.
Yeah, 2 GoPros. So that's 3 cameras on the boat, including his chesty, along with Jake, who's doing it from a chase boat. So you got 4 different camera angles. So when you see those fish catches, and they're so well put together by these guys, those multiple angles make each and every catch that much better to me. It makes it that much more engaging and that much more entertaining. And being able to hear the angler. Anytime I'm watching any kind of fishing tournaments, I want to be able to hear whatever's coming out of the angler's mouth. And to me, that's extremely important too. Mm-hmm. How many hours, back to Drew's question, I got kind of chasing rabbits there, but how many hours of recording for one YouTube video? All right, let's just talk tournament video.
That's kind of hard.
Well, I could probably roughly estimate it. I mean, you're talking about, it depends on how many days we all fish too, right? But let's just say for 3 days, because 1 or 2 of us is at least making most of the top 50 cuts. But for the first 2 days, these boys have 24 hours, roughly, of tournament footage.
I would say that's about right. Yeah, I would say that's
about
right.
Plus, you're before blast off, waking up, you're end of the day, all that stuff. Oh, why are you laughing?
Waking up.
Waking
it's
up.
Not easy.
Well, for you, it's easier than others. But so you're looking at like 30 hours potentially, 30 hours of footage per day that these boys have to go through. Now, I've watched McCoy edit, and dude, it's like I can't. I mean, he edits faster than I could sit here and take a sip of this drink right here. I mean, it's just insane how fast these boys are. But that's I guess, the more you do it, the more experience you gain, and the quicker you get, and the more efficient you get. But they can go through, I mean, what are y'all putting out now? 3 videos a week, roughly?
Right now, not doing tournaments, it's about 2.
About 2 videos a week.
But during tournaments, we're pretty back to back.
Yeah,
we
but
try and
still,
keep them.
That's pretty crazy to me.
Especially in an hour long. That's where it gets.
If I had to do one of these YouTube, I've had several people ask me, when are you going to start your own YouTube channel? And I'm like, I'm not. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen. Jeff and I have actually brainstormed about this. And, the what goes in behind it, and that's, McCoy can tell you, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And if you're going to do something like that, it's such a competitive industry now, and it's getting really flooded. Y'all
really
are way ahead of the curve. One of the OGs, one of the best in the business. But there's so many guys doing it now that's the reason we do this podcast, because it's something a little bit different. It's something that not everybody's doing. And, we like to engage the fans. We like to do it live, given the opportunity. We like to answer questions.
It takes the editing out.
It takes the editing out. Yeah, we don't, we have a little delay if one of us drops a bad word or something. Hopefully Jeff jumps on that, but he's looking at me like, nah.
Sometimes episodes might actually get deleted.
Yeah.
If we say something
wrong.
wrong.
No comment. Yeah. We may have lost an episode before, like an hour after it was live. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah. We don't have to worry about that right now.
It's faster than editing.
Yeah. Derek Westfall, that's a good question. Matt, do you notice an increase in fans or popularity when rooming with Scott compared to not rooming with him? I enjoy following you in Canterbury as much as Scott. Well, first of all, Derek, thanks for the kind words. And yeah, so the cool thing about our industry, and especially with Scott's channel, perfect example, he's so diverse and he reaches so many eyeballs that there's tons of people from his fan base that never knew who Matt Arey or Scott Canterbury were, right? Now, if guys were hardcore professional, followed the professional circuits, the Elite Series and the BPT and things like that, and then they knew who we were. But what Scott's channel is so good is connecting with people and people getting to see, like McCoy was saying, like the real us. Because that's not
the raw stuff.
None of this stuff is scripted. None of it. I mean, well, obviously, if you watch the channel, you know that it's not scripted.
Nothing is scripted.
There might be a lot of stuff that's edited because it has to be. And McCoy might get mad at me because I might drop too many cuss words because I had a bad day or something like that. And McCoy's like, "Oh, thanks, Matt. Can't use that one. Can't use that one. Thanks, Canterbury. Can't use that one. We got something really funny going down or something, or somebody's doing something really goofy, and then somebody just drops slides in a little cuss word here and there, and they're like,
that's why they made
great.
beeps, McCoy.
Yeah, well, but you can only beep so much, Jeff.
Yeah, until it gets
like
too excessive,
McCoy,
and they're like, wow.
It gets pretty heated in the house sometimes.
Just one long beat.
So,
just don't catch me on the wrong day and tackle me onto a bed.
Yeah,
I could have killed Canterbury.
I've seen, yeah. So, funny thing is, I don't know how much of that stuff's been shown throughout the year.
I took that completely out. I didn't
Did you?
I didn't even want to.
So,
I was so mad.
I guess the good thing about doing the final edits, well, between you and Scott, that you do have the power to cut something out if it's rubs you the wrong way, so to speak.
I tend to cut myself out a lot.
Well, and McCoy's great because McCoy, he'll always ask me or Canterbury, and especially Scott, obviously, make sure it's okay that he posts this or posts that. And y'all are very conscious of everybody that's on the channel, and we all appreciate that because, there's not a lot that we do that we wouldn't want anybody to see because, we're not like drug runners under the table or anything like that. We don't do anything illegal. But that being said, we want to make sure everything stays family friendly, and you want to make sure everything stays engaging and entertaining, and y'all do a great job with that. All right, so got a question, but to answer your question, Derek, absolutely so. Scott's channel is so big and so vast that, I get a lot of comments, a lot of feedback from that. Anytime I'm able to make an appearance on his YouTube channel, absolutely, it helps my fan base tremendously, in my personal brand and my sponsors' brands. That's the thing. And Scott's great because he's never. We did some stuff together my last year at FLW. It's not like Scott's out there going, Matt, take that shirt off because it says Toyota, or Canterbury, take that shirt off because it said, it's who we are, it's what we do, and it's real, and I think a lot of people have come to respect that and really engage more because of the credibility that it brings. It's not like we're all out there putting, a Trocar T-shirt on for Scott Martin, and
right,
you know what I'm saying? Like, and Scott's been always great with all that. He's never made any comments to me about that. He's never made any. It's been an awesome relationship, and obviously it's very good for my brand. Very good for my brand. Anytime you can meet, and this had a lot to do with when I transitioned from FLW to Bass. You get to a point to where your brand kind of starts to hit a ceiling to an extent because you're a professional fisherman, and the people that relate to you are fishermen, typically, right? So, but when you can start to appeal to people that aren't professional, that don't follow professional bass fishing, and you can not only, increase your fan base, but you can expose what we do to people that never have seen that before. And that's what is so cool about that channel. And a lot of the things that, Bassmaster does, and like the Classic, for instance. I mean, we had friends of friends of friends tuning in because I was having a good tournament, and I got comments and messages about, man, I never really thought bass fishing could be this exciting. Like I never thought bass fishing was this cool. I never thought it was that engaging and that entertaining. And thanks to Fox Sports, of course, for the awesome coverage that they've provided for bass this year, and all of us. But it's been a really cool experience with Scott's channel, and since I've been over at Bass to be able to show new people, new eyeballs, what we do and how we do it and who we are. So that's been really cool. All right, Ryan Sowers wants to know, McCoy, and you got to spill it now. This is LTF. This is Let's Talk Fish. We don't hold anything back. Does McCoy have any rag stories about Scott like Billy Got a Bass has? I know you got some rag stories.
Rag
Just cause the boss man's watching.
What would
Maybe
be a rag
we don't know if
story?
Scott's. Oh, just give us something good. Give us something good.
Honestly, there's really nothing.
Oh, you lie.
I'll think about it.
All right, you think about it. Now think about it hard because we expect something out of you for the end of this show. Mike Harris said iMovie is standard in the Mac OS.
Yeah.
All right, question from James Wendell Wagner. Do you use a separate recorder for sound, or is the microphone attached to the camera? I'm almost experienced enough to answer that, but I'm not going to.
The microphone.
I'll screw something up.
The microphones we use are attached to the camera on like our big cameras, like the Sony cameras we use. And then I see another question about GoPros. We don't run any external mics on the GoPros. We just run basically just raw audio from the GoPros. That's what we do.
Do people use external mics with GoPros?
We need to start using them with you guys, but you don't want to wear
All right, so I got
a mic.
So I'm the first one to complain all the time about putting a chest cam on or running a mic. I don't even like wearing a mic when I'm fishing. What?
It's a little tiny little thing.
What, dude?
Nothing.
You got something to say, Jeff? Just say it.
Nothing.
It's been awful quiet.
All right. During media day at Bass, at the Classic, had some different media people come around, and most of them have the regular mics with the wire and the little pocket deal.
Yeah.
Fine, whatever.
Standard.
But this one fella came up, and I apologize because I can't remember who he was with, and we did an interview with him. And he had this little bitty tiny square rectangle thing. And he just clipped it on my shirt. That was it. No wires, no battery packs, no buttons. Well, I'm sure there was a power button or something. But so I could dig that, McCoy. So why don't
you want the little square?
Why don't y'all check into that and let me know? Well, I mean, it's
so your deal
big.
is the wires. You don't like the wires.
I don't like the wires and stuff in my
Okay.
pocket. Like that little thing in your pocket's kind of heavy. I like to feel light as a feather.
That if we were to get them for the GoPros that you guys run, that's what we would get is the little things.
Okay, I might could dig that. I might could do that. All right.
We'll see.
I can't even comment.
Sega Bass.
Because I don't want to have to delete the show.
Bass. Do you use a separate voice recorder when filming with GoPros, or use just the GoPro mic? Oh, we just answered. Sorry, you just killed two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
You're ahead of me, McCoy. See, when you put somebody younger and smarter beside
He's
you,
combining questions.
When you put
it's
somebody
called efficiency.
Well,
he's got to be efficient.
Do you know who I'm used to sitting beside?
Editing 24 hours of video. You got to be efficient.
You got to be very.
Do you know
efficient.
who I'm used to sitting beside?
Yes.
All right, so this is the exact opposite. Okay, you agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that a jab at Thrift?
Well, yeah. Well, Thrift's just a little older, a little slower, a little, and you're a little bit
You can
younger
say
and
that
more
because it's
technologically advanced. I said what?
You can say that because he's not watching the show. Right?
Oh, I pick on him every time he's
Okay.
not here because I know he doesn't watch our show.
He doesn't even
He
know.
hosts it. He just doesn't watch it. When we first started, in all honesty, I watched some of our shows to listen to the sound. You wonder how stupid you sound anytime you're talking to a mic too, right? And then honestly, I've watched clips of some of our shows over the past year or so, but I have not watched an entire episode.
I don't know if I've ever watched an entire episode.
But we have, thanks to all y'all, if we screw something up or if our sound
We don't have to watch it because y'all let us know.
Yeah, y'all let us know.
Guaranteed.
So the only reason I go back and watch them is just to see, and I might go back to pick up on a comment or something later, something we missed. Sometimes I like to get to everybody's question. Obviously, we can't every week, but and when we can't, I like to go back and look through the feed and look at some of the comments and questions to see if there's something that we need to address on the next week's show. Derek Morris, thanks for the congrats, man. By the way, they again, SMC dropped a show yesterday.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know y'all were doing it. I knew you were down there getting some footage together.
I actually watched that. That was good.
What was really cool is that McCoy was down there getting a bunch of B-roll stuff with Canterbury and myself. And on Scott's channel, y'all go check it out. They put a episode together, launched it yesterday at 6 o'clock. I say launch. That's not even what's the term y'all boys use?
I don't know. Made it live.
Made it live.
I guess is what we said.
Released it.
Released it. Yeah, released it. It's
Uploaded
kind of
it,
a better.
downloaded it, whatever.
Yeah.
Side-loaded it.
Definitely side load.
So they put up an episode about the final day at the Classic. McCoy got a lot of really cool stuff, and he did. And I didn't know who all you interviewed in my family, but my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, my dad, my mom, my wife Emily, they all had little parts in the video, which was really cool, and I appreciate that, man. And they really appreciate that. Dixie,
I got Dixie. Dixie didn't want to do it.
Dixie was in there, but you made her do it.
I
love it. That's what Emily said. Dixie, I don't think Dixie really wanted to be on camera, but Dixie did a great job.
Yeah, she did a good job. She just gets nervous on it, I guess.
But yeah, that's y'all go check that episode out. It's over on Scott's channel and it's live now. All right, let's see. What editing software do you use, McCoy? TJ Eskew's asking. I can't answer that for sure.
I use my main editing software is Adobe Premiere Pro. Yeah, I think that's what.
Adobe.
Premiere Pro. Premiere Pro CC. Yeah, and then I use After Effects a little bit to kind of give some cool effects on the video.
Is that a separate deal?
It's an Adobe. It's part of the Adobe Creative Cloud. It's just a little more advanced.
It's just there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I have it, but I
got
don't
a question. Is that like what that special effects you talk about? Is that like in a couple of Scott's episodes in the past, I've seen like a POW with a little star that pops up with the word POW, like an old cartoon or something. You know what I mean?
No,
like
not
the
really.
Batman. Okay, that's not. Okay,
You can do that on After
What?
Effects, but you can
Yeah.
also.
Shut up, man.
It's more or less like when you see like a logo kind of come in and like fades in, like in the intro of some of
Okay.
our things.
So it's
it
not-
rolls in.
Not
and-
like Batman and Robin effects.
No, I mean you could do some of that.
I
I,
like
just don't know how to do
Not
that.
like
I'm not too
graphics and
experienced.
overlays and stuff. I mean, it will do that.
I mean,
but-
I think like if one of us
Lower
like boat
thirds.
flips a 7-pounder, you should like drop a bomb in the boat and it explode or something. I'm just
I mean,
just throwing that out there.
maybe this is why you don't produce the shows.
Yeah, you got a point. You got a point. I don't think if I quit fishing, I'll be editing anybody's YouTube channel's content anytime soon. That's interesting. Keith Wood wanted to know how would you have chopped up Matt's beehive episode?
The beehive episode.
The,
Where you got
the
attacked
bee
by the bees?
swarm, yeah.
What does he mean by how would I have chopped it up?
I guess because it was a continuous like 5-minute video. What would you have done to make that engaging and creative? I thought it was
pretty engaging.
pretty dang engaging. I can tell you, I was there.
Sunk the jerkbait right in your seat.
Yeah.
That was funny. That was funny.
But I mean, you could have put like bee sounds in there.
Yeah, I could have.
And like,
Yeah.
I mean, he could have done all kinds of little things, but I don't think that thing needed to be chopped up very much. It is
fun.
what it was. All right, Tyler Ward. He was saying he was with TGO but worked, and he was down there working with the Great Outdoors. But he was in the AFCO booth each day. He said he's glad he didn't see me. It meant I was still fishing. Yeah, me too, Tyler. Glad I didn't see you, buddy. Randy Lohman, great question. So he wanted to know, does the chase boat travel with everyone, or do they rent them at each location, or what? Typically, well, you can tell them.
Typically, we just kind of reach out, like on Instagram, and ask someone if they're local and they want to help us out, and we'll throw a little money at them, and just they get to kind of hang out with us for the week.
Yeah, I mean, Scott was paying, what, $7,000-$8,000 a day for the last couple chase boats. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, dang, chase boats get paid more
I'm
than
kidding.
Instagram account just melted.
McCoy said, really? Sorry,
Oh.
Hollywood. You might get 7 or 8 million.
I think he
messages
was furnishing the boat.
today.
Chase boat.
Where are we going next?
Champlain.
Champlain. Is he going to need a chase boat up there?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
I
we'll
think.
just throw it out for it now.
Champlain. Yeah, we need a chase boat at Champlain.
Need
if
a chase
anyone's
boat
around.
at Champlain if anybody's going to be in the area. What do y'all normally do? They normally just reach out, message Scott, message y'all on Instagram, or what?
Usually, you'll get through to me a little better than Scott. He gets a lot of messages per day and everything.
Sure.
So it's a little easier to get to me.
Okay.
So that's usually how he does it. He hasn't reached
So
out. to
send
me.
McCoy a message on Instagram, right? Best way.
Yeah,
to
that's
get
the best
to him.
way, for
So if
sure.
you're up at Champlain, close to Champlain, and you want to be a chase boat with the SMC crew, reach out to McCoy on Instagram, shoot him a message, and they'll try to get it worked out. All right. Ryan Sowers wants to know if you're going to run a chase boat for me now.
Who? Me?
Are you going to run a chase boat for Matt? That's what he said.
That's a strong no. But
all right.
there is rumor on the streets that Billy and myself may be at one of the northern events coming up. We just don't know which one, but we may make an appearance.
I hope so.
Yep.
I want to see Billy.
Tim Kelly has a question. Good question. Ideal location for the best picture for a GoPro / iPhone mount at the console or on the back deck somewhere? Best location.
This is a good question. I would say.
Well, y'all run multiple, so you get it all.
Right.
But if you have one option, what would it be?
If I had one option, I would say we run an arm off the left side of the boat with a mount that kind of sticks out. It kind of gets the full picture and everything. You usually get fish flipping up. The console mount's good, but sometimes if like you step back too far, you get cut off basically. So I would say definitely that arm like on the left side of the boat.
So what is that arm? It almost looks like it's homemade or something. Is that, or did y'all buy that?
You can buy it on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just I couldn't tell you what to look up, but it's just GoPro Arm.
Arm.
It has like 3 joints on it. Just kind of.
Got you. All right.
We just attach it to the seat there.
So Stephen Guthrie wants to know how many hard drives you fried this year, McCoy.
Just one. Just one this year.
I can vouch for that.
One per year.
It's just one.
I didn't drop this one.
Did you do one last year too?
I dropped one off the table after the Neely Henry event.
And
Fried it completely.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. We sent it to California for like months and it didn't come back. Well, it came back.
After the Neely Henry Open, I'm like, if you did that this year, that's 2 this year, McCoy.
Yeah. No, yeah. And it came back and they said they couldn't fix it, so I put a little marker on it. Like,
so what is the status of the St. John's hard drive? Is it for sure like?
No, it's coming back. It's just it's a very slow process with the data recovery. So I texted the guy the other day. I'm not sure if he got back to me, but we've got to be getting close. So hopefully by the end of the season we'll have those videos up.
All right, here's a good question from Derek Morris. What's the best way to keep the batteries going on GoPros during the entire day on the water? Do you swap batteries when they get low or keep them charging?
We actually run we run external, like little, I guess, I don't know what you call them, they're just like little battery packs.
Yeah, they're
they're
about the size of a cell phone. They're a little thicker.
They're pretty small, and those kind of keep it going all day. They're usually like 10,000 milliamp hours. We'll run it all day.
And if you mount those on the console, you just tuck that in behind your windshield.
Yeah, you can just tuck them. We have ones that'll fit back behind the console, or you can even tape them up. Usually they'll stay if it's not too rough of a day.
In my Ranger and a lot of the newer boats have USB ports there too that you can plug them directly into. Or if you're using the what's the dang pole that we use?
The Yellowtex.
The Yellowtex.
Yeah, the Yellowtex
if you're using
nice.
the Yellowtex and you plug them into your anchor light, obviously you're drawing power through there too, so you don't have to worry about those batteries dying on you. Yeah, Drew, I agree. Billy is the best waker upper. Billy is a good waker upper. How difficult is it to go through all the different camera angles to pick which ones you want to overlay into your video? From Tyler.
It was difficult at the beginning, but now it's like it's just kind of a process in our head. Like we know exactly how we want the scene to be, so it's really just switching when it feels right. Basically, it's all a feel thing for me at this point. Dylan really deserves a lot of credit on the GoPro stuff and matching up a lot of all that. Because that's really his main job when we're on the road doing tournament stuff. I give him all the GoPro, all the on the water stuff, and he'll go through, get all the fish catches, all like the main parts, and kind of line them up. And then I just go through and chop it, really. And it's really just a feel thing when you feel like you need a transition to a different shot. If it gets boring, too long, and stuff like that.
That's where.
Did that answer the question?
Yeah, I think it does. But that's where that's like. A good videographer or a good editor, they kind of have a knack for it. They kind of have an instinct. They kind of have an eye for it, and that's one thing that McCoy has. And it's like sometimes you can teach most, but you can't teach everything, because I think putting together a good video is like going out there and competing as an elite pro or playing in the Masters as a golf pro or whatever it is. Guys have a knack for it, and McCoy's got a knack for it, and he's really good at what he does. Of course, you could give credit where Brandon Gordon taught you everything, right?
Actually, yeah, Brandon taught me quite a bit, but Scott, I'll give a lot of credit to Scott on that. He helped me through kind of the rough parts of really feeling when you need to transition a camera angle or something like that.
Yeah, and that's
watching his TV shows and stuff.
Yeah, Scott is very gifted in that.
Yeah.
Obviously he's a phenomenal fisherman, but he's very, very good at knowing where to put what and when to put it there.
How to structure videos.
Yeah, because timing and transitions makes a video.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
He really makes my job a lot easier editing because he knows exactly how he wants the video.
Now, I'm pretty sure he must have said something about watching tonight, because you sure are sucking up to him a lot.
No, he just deserves a lot of credit. I think he deserves a lot of credit for it.
Somebody wants a raise.
People don't see what he does. People
that's
more
true.
like
That's true.
they just think he holds a rod and fishes. He does a
Scott,
lot more behind the scenes.
I've said this on the show before, and Scott is. I mean, I really don't. I've thought and brainstormed and thought. I've never met a guy, and I'm saying a professional angler, that works as much off the water as he does on the water in our entire industry as Scott Martin. And I don't think that's even a debate. Like, I can't think of anybody that's even close.
No, I mean, I don't know other guys, but just seeing how Scott is at
I
home.
know most of them.
And
there's some guys that work
he's
hard
always
out there.
going.
Yeah, there's some guys that work hard out there, but you think about it. He's still got the television show. He's got his YouTube channel. He's got a full-time career as a professional angler. Got a lot of great sponsors. He's always doing appearances. He's always doing seminars. He don't stop. He doesn't stop.
I don't know how he's still sane, honestly.
And still a good family man, and that's a hard balance. I mean, I can't do it. I couldn't do it. Everybody's asking me why I didn't have a YouTube channel, because I can't do it. Like, I would probably be stressed to the max and just overload myself and shrivel up.
But you would only do it half the year anyways, because turkey season and deer season's no-go.
Now, wait a minute. I could have that,
All-purpose channel?
All-purpose channel, thank you. Where we do some turkey hunts and some whitetail hunts.
Matt Arey
bass
Outdoors.
fishing. No, that's cliche as crap. We'd have to come up with something.
There's another Matt Arey Outdoors?
No, but everybody uses their name and then puts the outdoors on it.
So, just be better.
Just be better. Man, you got a good point. Ryan said if you edited these shows that Matt would have never given away a trivia answer.
I saw
ever.
that. That's probably right.
Drew got another question for you, McCoy. Does Scott require McCoy to always lose to Hillary when they have a challenge, or is McCoy just not a good fisherman?
She's just a better fisherman than me.
Fisherwoman.
She's a very fisherwoman.
Fisherwoman.
Be politically correct here. Yeah, he doesn't require anything there. She always outfishes me. She's a very competitive person. I hate going against her.
Imagine that.
It's crazy. Who would have thought Scott Martin's
right.
daughter would be competitive?
Yep, that's right. But yeah, and Hillary's got a booming channel too. She's doing a lot of good things with that. All right.
So who does all of her stuff?
That's a good question. I don't know that.
We have another guy down in Florida. His name's Mac
seven
Hoover.
more people that we
He's a young, really, really talented kid. His name's Mac Hoover. He lives over on the West Coast near Fort Myers, and we just kind of give him the footage, and he puts them together real quick and gets them back to us. So it's kind of out of our hair, which is nice because we're always doing Scott's stuff, and really, at the end of the day, don't have time for it. So it's nice to kind of offload it to him. But
Derek Webster, in addition to your phone cams, list the must-have equipment list in your opinion. So a couple things that if you're going to go out there and get started with a YouTube channel or
like a starter pack.
Yeah, kind of like a starter pack. A couple must-haves, things that you've got to have.
Is it for a fishing channel?
Well,
or just in general?
I'm sure it would be fishing related.
Right. So if it's fishing related, definitely a GoPro. Obviously, it's pretty important. Three of my favorites are definitely the GoPro Hero 4, the black version, and then GoPro Hero 7, and the 9 is pretty good. So the 4s are pretty cheap still, and their audio is great, the video is great. It's really perfect for what you need to get started. And then obviously, like a main camera, like if you were doing a vlogging segment or something, your phone works just fine, but if you wanted to upgrade to a little better quality, I know Canon makes a good little small camera that's pretty user-friendly. It's like an M50. I'm a Sony guy, so like the Sony like A6000 series, there's 4 or 5 different cameras there.
6000 or 6500 would be a good.
Yeah, we still use those.
What do those cameras run?
The 6000 I think is like $800 for the kit.
That's not bad.
So it's not terrible.
What do you run, the A7s?
We run the A7S3s, yeah. So those are not the cheapest.
So that's good advice that you would have never heard from Bryan Thrift or Matt Arey. Chris Lindahl, who actually was with us last week on the 100th show giveaway trip. And great guys. Chris and his buddy Ryan came down, and we had a good time. We went out and caught. we didn't really do any footage or anything on that. We should have done a little bit of footage, but we ended up going to Moss, and I think between the two boats, we caught 30 or 40 fish. Had a blast with those guys, and Chris and Ryan shoot. They showed up, and we were bearing gifts, but they were bearing gifts too, and they left us
the gift they left is pretty tasty.
Jeff has already got into one of the gifts, which they brought us a really nice bottle of bourbon. It was a rye. And I can't. What was the name of it?
I can't remember. Something famous from up there.
So it was. This is all Nebraska stuff.
Good.
He brought a peach beer that is local to where they're from in Nebraska, which I do, Chris, have in my cup tonight. People always wonder what I have in my cup, but I have one of those peach wheat ales that they brought us, and they also brought us a couple tomahawk pork chops along with some ribeyes and some venison jerky that Mr. Ryan himself made. And I want to thank y'all again for that, because that was unexpected. Y'all definitely didn't need to bring us anything, but we do appreciate that. And we're actually going to
Templeton Rye, yes, that's it.
Templeton Rye.
It's good.
That was it. It's over there in the freezer, actually.
It's really good.
For some reason, Jeff likes to put his bourbon and whiskey in the freezer, but I'm not.
Because it's cold.
I'm a room temperature kind of guy.
Nah, I like it cold.
Drop a single ice cube in it and roll with it.
Nah.
All right. This is a great question from Chris. The whole reason I mentioned Chris is because he had a really cool question. McCoy, your favorite YouTube channel cannot be Scott's. Your favorite YouTube channel other than Scott's. I'll be interested to see if it's even fishing related. Because you don't really come from a big fishing background, right?
I do. Not really, but I fished pretty hard before I worked for Scott.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I didn't know that, so.
Yeah. I'll do one fishing and one non-fishing. So probably
Perfect.
non-fishing would be kind of camera gear.
Is
I
it
like.
hunting?
No, it's not hunting.
Okay.
Actually, I'll just change it completely. Outdoor industry, definitely Yeti. I've really loved the little films they put out. That's kind of.
Oh, like Yeti's actual channel?
Yeah, Yeti's actual
I
channel.
didn't even know Yeti actually had a
Yeah,
YouTube channel.
you should watch some of their stuff. It just tells a story, and I really appreciate the production quality of those. And then there's guys like camera gear guys like Matty Hapoya and Peter McKinnon, stuff like that. I watch
Because you appreciate the cinematography.
right.
That's
I
always
find
scattered
myself
when I say
watching
that
that. I don't even watch fishing content anymore. When you produce it, you just don't want to watch it.
Right.
Other than I watched John B. before Alex, his camera guy, left, because their production quality was way higher than ours. So I just loved watching his stuff, his big trips and everything. I've always liked watching them. And what's cool about the industry is you kind of take bits and pieces from every different creator, and we're all pretty close for the most part. And you can ask them a question and they'll answer. There's no like secrets in the industry, I wouldn't say. All the camera guys would do anything for each other, I'd say, which is really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I see y'all at tournaments like you, and I don't know all the camera guys' names, forgive me, but like Polinick's camera guy,
Kyle.
and they're all over there like, it's like when we were kids trading baseball cards, dude. They'd all over there in a little huddle looking at everybody's equipment and be like, hey man, I'll give you this lens for that lens. You know, I'm just making an observation. Y'all do, like y'all are always hanging out and giving each other tips and talking about equipment, talking about different ideas. And I mean, there's several really good camera guys on the Elite Series that you can. I mean, it's like fishing. You can always learn something from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You can always,
learn something.
and yeah, you never want to be the guy who just doesn't want to give any information out, because you'll never get any information then.
That's right.
That's really how you look at it. You gotta,
Same with fishing.
yeah, you gotta give.
So
to
they
get.
want to know how old you are, McCoy. Because I don't even know how old you are.
I just turned
He's
21.
old enough to drink. I do know that.
I turned 21 in January.
Oh, so you're barely old enough to drink. All right, good enough. Oh, somebody asked where Smoke was tonight. He's actually New York for a BPT event. I believe they're fishing St. Lawrence River, I believe. But he is on his way. I believe he left yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So Smoke is up there for the week, and everybody wish him luck. And that should be an entertaining tournament. But I'll be watching it because, hey, the elites are going to be there in a couple weeks. So you'd be a fool not to watch it if you were an elite guy, right?
Yes.
But
Yeah.
anyway, a little different format, but at least you'll be able to get a grasp on kind of what stage the fish are in and things like that. So
I think we need to talk about drones. I've seen a couple questions.
drones.
About drones.
Okay. Oh,
So,
let's answer this question real quick. I know you talked about the Sony, the model cameras that you used. You mentioned that earlier.
Right, yeah. I very quickly I did.
Do you shoot at the highest resolution or just good enough for YouTube?
So we shoot the Sony A7S IIIs, which are probably one of the top cameras right now in mirrorless, and it can actually shoot like all 4K up to 120 and everything. So we're maxed out on 4K 120. Usually we shoot at 4K 60, like around the house and stuff like that on the water fishing, just because with the 60 frames per second you can slow that down. If you're shooting in say 24 frames a second, you can't slow that down without it being real choppy. And then the 120 frames a second, you can really slow that down. That's what we do montages in and stuff. And you want to really slow it down.
All right, so I got to throw this question at you because I want to know the answer to this. I mean, this is from Grayson. He wants to know, so last year McCoy was with the crew that had Todd Castledine, Bradley Hallman, Billy Got a Bass, Andrew Upshaw, Scott Martin, McCoy. Anybody else with y'all?
Jake is with us.
And Jake.
Yep,
and Jake, Scott's son Jake. In a house together at every event.
It's a packed house.
They want to know who annoyed you the most out of that house from last year.
Who annoyed me the most?
Who annoyed you the most from that house?
I would say Todd Castledine liked to pick on me a lot. He liked to pick on me a lot.
Well, I know who the answer is this year then.
Definitely Canterbury.
Yeah, 100%
Definitely
Canterbury.
You don't pick on me as much. I guess you both pick on me a lot.
I try to defend you some because I
Yeah.
actually feel bad because Canterbury, like, he gets all physical and like body slams McCoy and throws him around and he does. Man. Canterbury gets rough with my boy McCoy. I mean, he does. He gets rough with him, man. And anyway, so Castledine, huh?
Castledine. He gave me a lot of.
Castledine.
But
there you
it's
have
just
it.
kind of his personality. He picked
So
on
let's
me a lot.
talk about drones. So there's a question earlier.
Dixie's on here. She says, "Hey, McCoy." Yep.
What's up, Dixie?
A good starter drone for somebody getting started, like what's the best drone for the money? And then also to fold that into what drones do y'all use?
I would say the best starter drone for the money.
Yeah.
I would say like the Mavic Air. I think it's Mavic Air.
Yeah.
Mavic Mini is good, but it's really light. So like if you're in any sort of wind, it's kind of tough. So then I would say probably the Mavic Air is really good. I've seen it do very well in wind and everything. It takes great footage. So that's what I would say for sure. The ones we use are I think it's the Phantom 4 Pro. So it's the one with like the screen and everything. It's the big white drone, if that makes any sense.
The big white drone.
The big white drone.
Perfect.
I have one of the original Phantoms.
What kind did you sink in the lake that time?
That was Josh White's. We
I didn't-
borrowed that drone.
We've talked about this on the show before, but
I don't know why. It just quit working.
They just fall out of the sky.
Oh,
Yes.
I've had that happen before.
straight to the lake.
Yeah. We were literally borrowing
don't
it for like
defend
15
him.
minutes.
They're
Like, hey,
weird.
can we borrow your drone to get a little shot? We're shooting like an intro video or something.
Yeah.
And about 4 minutes later, it was at the bottom at Moss.
Yep.
So bought him a new drone, lost the footage.
Nice.
All right, so where's the? Oh, Ryan Sowers wanted to know where can this B video be seen. So I actually have the clip in my phone. I was going to post it to my social media. I hadn't got around to doing it yet. Was it in one of our shows? Did y'all edit that in one of the shows?
What was it?
The B video from Gunnersville. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
it's in one of the Gunnersville videos on the SMC channel. You can check that out on Scott's YouTube channel. It'll be the Gunnersville tournament.
Was it during practice? Might have been.
No, it was during the
It
tournament.
was during the tournament.
Day one. It was day one of the tournament. I can tell you that.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I didn't put it actually in your fishing segment. I put it when you were showing Scott on your phone, like we were
Okay,
sitting
yeah.
on the couch. So that's where I put it in.
I need to post that for y'all because it's pretty funny because like a whole swarm of bees. I'm out in the middle of the lake and this swarm of bees, apparently the queen left the hive or whatever happens, and they followed the queen and the queen decided to land in my boat, apparently. And the whole swarm comes to the boat. And it took me a minute. I'm like sitting there fishing and I'm like, you hear bzzz, and you're like, whatever, fly, whatever. You hear it again, bzzz, and you can see from the GoPro on the back deck, well before I know what's going on, you can see bees just going.
What was funny was the progression of it.
The progression.
You're just
of
like,
it.
you got kind of nervous, and you're like,
I got kind of nervous, and then
on?
I'm looking back, and there's bees flying everywhere, like all over the boat, like everywhere. They keep landing on me. They're not stinging me, but somebody told me that, you know, a swarm, when they're swarming like that, that they're not trying to sting or be aggressive. I didn't know that at the time, and I didn't care at the time. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that. I turned the trolling motor on high. Next thing I know, I look back, my butt seat's on the back deck, and it's got like 15, like in a little huddle, like having a powwow on my butt seat back there on the back deck. I start swinging them at them with my jerk bait, and my jerk bait gets stuck in the butt seat, and I have to go back here and get it undone. Bees going everywhere. Anyway, it was a mess. I'll try to post that video if I remember this week. Y'all send me a message and remind me, but it's pretty comical. It's like 5 minutes long, too. Yeah. It's like 4 or 5 minutes long. All right, couple more. What time is it, Jeff?
Time to eat.
What time is it?
8:02.
Is it 8:02?
Yeah.
All right, we have to do. We're gonna get one more question, then we gotta go straight to trivia question. We got we've had a great show tonight. Tons of questions. Sorry we didn't get to every single one of them. Y'all follow McCoy on Instagram, the real McCoy. If you have the real REEL. MACOY. Follow the real McCoy on Instagram. If you got questions, technical questions, or want to get his feedback on something, shoot him a message. And be sure to follow Scott's YouTube channel, Team SMC YouTube channel, Scott Martin on YouTube. A lot of cool content. We have a lot of fun on the road, if you can't tell. But these boys do a great job. Every single one of them do a great job. On a scale of 1 to 10, McCoy, how pissed was Scott when you dropped that hard drive?
that's the most pissed I've ever seen him.
So like a 10?
I wouldn't say it's the most he could have gotten mad. He definitely handled it pretty well. I would say like a 7.
Wow.
He
and that's
handled
the maddest
it well.
you've ever seen him?
Yeah. He doesn't really get mad.
He must be watching.
But he got mad for a very short window. It was about 30 minutes. He was on the water practicing at Cherokee. And I had to call him and tell him.
Oh, you should have
lost
told
all
him
the
when he
footage.
got in. You should have told him when he got in.
But I didn't know what to do.
Well, actually,
so I needed to figure out if I could get it fixed.
No, that was a good move because he was beyond arm's reach of you.
Right.
And when you told him, you knew he'd have plenty of time to simmer down.
Yeah.
That's probably a good move on your part.
He was a little more mad because I did drop it in general. I just fell off the table.
Well, so, McCoy, everybody give McCoy a shout out. Tell him thank you for being on the show because this was something that we wanted to do that's a little bit different, a little bit off path, off the beaten path, that we don't, very rarely do these guys get the credit they deserve. So that's something we wanted to do on tonight's show. Obviously, Thrift's out of town, headed to a tournament in New York. But having McCoy here was definitely a pleasure for all of us because answered a lot of questions. A lot of the questions that y'all asked tonight, I sure as heck couldn't answer. Jeff might could have answered a few of them. Thrift definitely couldn't have answered them, but McCoy could. And I learned a lot tonight, too, about some of the equipment that I've seen all year and I didn't know what it was.
Well, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
What's that?
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, yeah, my pleasure.
Fun.
And so from here, let's see, McCoy, you're headed north, probably leaving Friday or Saturday, and going to keep trucking, pulling the SMC rig.
Mm-hmm.
Headed to where are you headed? Y'all going to go do some filming before Champlain practice starts, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm headed to Pennsylvania for a few days, because that's where I'm originally from. I'm going to fish for a few days, and then we'll head up to New York. I'm not exactly sure where, but we're going to film some TV shows with Hillary and some other people. So
cool. Well, that'll be a lot of fun. Are y'all gonna be small? Is it smallmouth in these places?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, because anytime I drive that far north, I don't want to fish for greenfish anymore. I want to fish for smallmouth. I mean, these don't get an opportunity that much in the Carolinas.
Right.
Not that many great smallmouth fisheries around our house here. So, anyway, all right. Time for the trivia question, real quick. Really cool trivia question that McCoy came up with. It does relate to Team SMC. The winner of this gets a Pulse Jig prize pack, compliments of Pulse Fish Lures, one of the show sponsors, one of my sponsors, one of Brian News' sponsors. that we're actually headed down to Lake Lanier. We're leaving. McCoy and I are going to leave at 3 o'clock in the morning.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I feel sarcasm in that.
Sucks y'all didn't invite me.
Yeah. We're going down to Lanier, and we're going to be shooting some film all day with Mr. Todd Goad himself down on Lake Lanier, catching some big spotted bass on the pulse jig, and that'll be a lot of fun. All right, here we go. Trivia question time for a pulse jig prize pack. So, Team SMC on the vice versa, Scott's.
So, before you get started,
oh Lord,
whoever sees the answer first can call it.
yes, if
Either
you see
one
the
of
correct answer in your feed before we do, you call it.
Okay.
So, first correct answer that comes
This
across
is coming
our feed.
in hot, so
This
be
is
watching.
This is the correct answer, right?
Yep, that's the correct answer.
All right. So Team SMC went out on the vice versa to attempt to break the Florida state record of the most sailfish caught in one day, which is also happens to be the United States record, right?
For the Atlantic sailfish.
For the Atlantic sailfish.
world record,
The
actually.
world record.
Already got a
yes.
winner. That took a while.
Wow,
Holy
that
cow.
was quick.
I was going to say, how many sailfish did they catch? But you didn't even give me time. So we already have a winner.
Derek Westfall
And
won
he answered it twice.
Twice in a row.
So the answer, which is pretty amazing, and you can see this.
He
on-
won
channel.
3 times.
We have a
now.
video.
See this on the channel. Caught and released 76 Atlantic sailfish that day, which is
One day.
pretty unreal. And the Florida state record was what, 82?
84,
83 or 84, something like that.
83 or 84, which is the world
Which
record.
we didn't know until we got off the water.
So they were
So
roughly
y'all would have
seven.
stayed longer?
We could have definitely stayed longer. We could have fished a little harder. We probably would have beat it.
Yeah.
But
Wow. I mean, that's when you catch 10 sails in a day, that's epic.
right.
When you catch 70, that's like unheard of.
Yeah.
But y'all did set, you told me that it's actually a record for the Florida Keys.
Yes.
So they
Florida
set it,
Keys
and the
record.
Florida Keys does have a sailfish record for the most sailfish caught and released, and they hold that record at 76 sailfish, Atlantic sailfish. So, Derek, you are the winner. Send us your shipping information via Facebook, message us, and we'll get that out to you.
Finally, he's never won before? I thought Derek had won before. Maybe not.
I feel like Derek has won before, too. I see a lot of correct answers, guys, but we already have a winner, unfortunately.
He said finally.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. It's been a great show. McCoy, thanks.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
appreciate you coming.
Appreciate all the good questions and everything.
Yeah, and I'm sorry if we didn't get to your question tonight. Maybe we'll have the pleasure of having the whole SMC crew in here one day. I've been trying to get these boys to come up and go carp fishing for a weekend and do a whole show on
That
the whole carp
needs
fishing
to happen.
gig.
That doesn't. I heard
They
about
don't.
that.
They
That
don't
needs to
understand
That needs to happen.
How-
That's going to happen.
how epic this YouTube show could be for this channel. Like, I mean, obviously the channel is unbelievably ginormous, but the feedback and the questions that you would get after we would do a carp fishing episode at one of these local gambling lakes, local pay lakes, you have no idea.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's do that.
just to expose y'all to this
That's gonna
is
happen.
exciting.
I think
Me
we
to
need to,
think
yeah.
about it.
For sure.
All right, again, McCoy, thank you. Jeff, thanks as always for doing what you do. Glad you turned the sound on.
Oh.
I'm just glad you turned the sound on after the first couple minutes.
Yeah, I get a little confused sometimes.
All right, y'all, when we can't go fishing, we'll sit right here and talk fish. We will be back next week to give you a preview of the last 2 Elite Series events in New York. See y'all then.
Thank you for listening to Let's Talk Fish. Visit our private Facebook group to continue the conversation, post your questions, and talk with other fellow anglers at facebook.com/groups/Let's Talk Fish. Follow us on Instagram at Let's Talk Fish Official and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more exclusive content. Join us again next episode for more actionable tips, tactics, and techniques directly from the pros. And remember, when we can't go fishing, we're going to sit right here and talk fish.